In our ancestral environment, aren't families supposed to sleep huddled together, skin to skin? Are we missing something important for our health and for family cohesion? Do we sleep on our belly to mimic human contact? Well, that's interesting. It's really hard. Any such universal pronouncement is going to be tough because there's so much variation that, if you were in the Arctic, probably, yeah, very much so. If you are in the Amazon, there's a whole lot of hammock sleeping. And mostly you don't sleep next to other people because it's really uncomfortable because it's so hot. That's not the case. I will, to the degree that there is any universal with regard to sleep and proximity to other human beings, for humans, it's probably going to be about babies, right? Like babies and mothers definitely sleep skin to skin in pretty much, I think everyone, I'm just going to say pretty much because I'm not totally sure, but I think every pre-industrial society.
Oh yeah.
And there are a lot of us who did that with our own babies, even though we live in post-industrial societies. And it's better for baby. It's less disruptive actually for sleep of mom. It's just better all around. And people. And it stops at some point. If you have a strong bond with your kid, they don't become clingy and demand that you always do the thing that you were doing in the past.
Yeah, in fact, it creates attachment, which creates security, which results in healthy adults.
Yeah.
So there are all kinds of reasons. I would love to know if there is a definitive review in ancestral sleeping styles. How did people actually sleep, and what does it have to do? How did they manage the parasites that might accumulate from such a thing? Were they sleeping on the ground? I mean, sleep was managed in some way, and our current way of doing it is so novel and has so many pathologies associated with it that at least knowing what people did and in response to what environments in some sort of systematic way would be very, very useful.
Yeah. But, for sure, sticking your newborn in a different room and letting them scream as some sort of crazy ham-fisted way to teach them to buck up or something, like that's insane.
It comes from this crazy mid-20th century flights of psychological fancy where people thought that you were in constant danger of over loving your children and that causing them to
that's a scourge.
Anyway, that stuff was all garbage. Frankly, if there had been anything like an evolutionary understanding in psychology at the time, it would have been laughed out of the room, right? Children are raised to become healthy, well-adjusted adults. And adults are built to know, how to deploy love to their children. And the idea that you have to intervene in some counterintuitive... Tamp down your love. Right, tamp down your love and, steel yourself to listen to your child in the other room screaming, you must not give in. That's just nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, modern parenting... has kind of reversed the developmental stages at which it does the right stuff. So, early on, you want to be in contact with your baby as much as possible. And, either parent, both parents, other caregivers, allo parents, and attend to their every need as they show that they have them. And that allows you to much more quickly than these kids who were like isolated in rooms as babies they will start these, babies who are raised from infancy, with attachment, basically. Anecdotally, we know for sure, and I've seen in research that those children are earlier to explore, are more confident going out. They know that their parents have their back, and that that we will do everything possible for them, but that they are also now increasingly going to be responsible for their own decisions. They are going to have to clean up their own messes, both physical and psychological and social, and that actually creates anti-fragility and awesomeness in adults in a way that letting them scream when they're babies and then coddling them more and more and more as they get older is ass backwards and produces a generation that is confused and damaged, and frankly, it's not really their fault.